Hello, this is Destruction of an Inferno by Zach Saudi. Okay, so for my online presentation, I decided to go with my one essay, The Destruction of an Inferno. When I was younger, I remember when my parents would take me camping in places all over, and I always had so much fun. After I was old enough, I joined the Boy Scouts of America, and now I lead and teach kids how to camp and any other skills that they will need to survive out in the woods. I can always remember when I say to myself, "This is my home," when I spend a night or two out in the woods. Usually by the end of the trip, though, I'm always ready to go home for a shower and a nice warm bed. The sounds of the creatures moving around me, the sounds of the trees speaking to each other, the way the mountains rise above the sea of leaves, and the majestic smell of a fire and a fire ring. There is nothing in the world that can compare to the great forest. So when um, I decided when I wrote my essay, I thought I honestly didn't know where I was going to start. So I thought we'll start at the beginning. I looked up on the internet to find out what was the first known recording of a wildfire in America. So, and I tried to do our country, and it just happened to be it. So, in North Dakota, in 1804, when William Clark was part of the Corps of Discovery, and he was heading up trying to find the Pacific. During the winter of when they built Fort Mandan, they actually witnessed a wildfire, and I found a clip of William Clark's journal that he wrote about the fire, and so then I'll let you read that. But then down here on the last paragraph, this is the first, I was saying like this is the first known recording in United States history. Then I was saying like I decided, you know what, I'm gonna teach the damage. So that's what I was doing. I was showing what damage happened. Then I was gonna give what my thesis would be for the rest of the essay. So my whole thesis is we can keep these fires at bay. We have the technology and the means to do it. We just have to be willing to do it before it's too late. Once the forests are gone, yeah, they'll come back, but by then it's going to be too late. We'll lose many animals because their habitats have been destroyed by natural wildfires. And yes, wildfires are good, but they extremely devastating. And that's what I'm going to say the rest of the essay. So then here I decided to just do damage, like to show you guys what damage was going to happen. So then I found one of the most devastating wildfires in America, which happened in 1988 at Yellowstone. So almost 25,000 firefighters were sent here from all over the country, and just in the park alone, 1.2 million acres were gone. That's not including what happened outside of the park. That's just in Yellowstone. We lost 1.2 million acres in Yellowstone. And then I said how remarkably there was no firefighters that died during the destruction. But then I said there was a witness, Lee Whittlesey, I think that's how you pronounce it, that he was actually there and witnessed the whole thing, and you can read that. But so then up until here, I've been just saying that like the property damage that's going on. So then for this one, I decided, you know what, I'm gonna do what happened to people. So I looked up the most devastating wildfire that with the most casualties. That was in 1871 in Wisconsin. 2,500 people died just in Wisconsin from a wildfire. Then in 2008, we had 23 people die in California. 2011, 16 people. And then just later in 2016, 14 people died in Gatlinburg. And I was saying, when I was looking up the dates of that wildfire, I realized that just a year before, I was actually camping in the forest of Tennessee at Gatlinburg. And then it was just surprising to think of that. And then I go on saying the death toll of these fires are ridiculous. I mean, Wisconsin alone, 2,500 people. So then I was saying we can stop it. I'm going on with my thesis. We can stop these wildfires from damaging. Yes, we need to have controlled fires to level the forest and all, but it it doesn't have to be so ridiculous like this. This doesn't need to happen. So then, yeah. So then I found that there were actually people that were doing what I'm trying to do now. They contacted um, they contacted this board that handles wildfires, and then they're saying, like, in USA, um, fire control costs about 1.6 million US dollars just in 2001 alone. And then it's going to be just keeps getting worse each year. And then I'm saying how and then they said how the government uses these these fires basically, and the deaths that come from them as pawns in their own game for power. So then I gave a quote from the Bible in Galatians chapter 6 verse 2. And then I finish my essay, or I start to finish my essay with, we can help these people, we just have to be willing to do it, we can't let these fires go undone, and so on. So then I finish my entire essay with a quote from Jack London. We were all wild once, but man rose up from his primitive origins, conquered the wilderness both within and without. We have minds, gentlemen, thoughts that separate us from the lower animals, passion and ingenuity enough to tame the wild and survive, but only if we respect its dangers. We have the ability, we have the minds, we know we can do it. We just have to be willing, and we have to know the dangers of it.